But now, the really special part of tonight is I really have the honor and privilege to introduce Andrew McMahon, who is the CEO of Guardian Life, as you all know. Now, we could talk about how successful a businessman he is. You could talk about where he came from, where he got to. It's all fantastic. I can tell you this man is wicked smart. I was talking to him 5 years ago about AI before the world got AI fever. He was well ahead of it. I'm just using that as an example. He's an inspirational colleague, and I'm a better person for knowing him, and I mean that sincerely. And he's a great family man. He's here with his family tonight. The only person that's missing that's shocking to me is his little grandson, but maybe not so shocking because he's so proud of him. And anyways, we could talk all night about Andrew's accomplishments. We really could, and I mean that sincerely. And those of you that know me well know I'm not just blowing smoke. But there's two things about Andrew that I think are really, really special. And when Patricia said, you know, we really need someone to come this year, that's a really special person. God's honest truth, you can ask Patricia. I said, you've got to get Andrew McMahon to do this. And what are the two things? He does the right thing. I've worked for so many people in so many walks of life who are like, we've got to do the right thing. And then they don't. Andrew does the right thing, and I'm not going to go through examples, but I can tell you time and time again on difficult situations, in difficult situations that involve a lot of complexity, etc. He simplifies it. He's like, folks, do the right thing. We did the right thing. He says it just like that. I can't say it as well as him. But he does. And thank God we have leaders that are still like that out there in the world. You know, you sometimes wonder if we do. So just like I wrote this down because I knew that I was going to be late tonight, so sorry about that. Anyways, so just like our ancestors doing the right thing for their families, Andrew McMahon does the right thing. And I think anyone that knows him would tell you that. The second thing is he cares a lot about community. He really does, and he's a really humble guy. I was recently at a Met game. I'm afraid to go back to my table because they're Yankee fans. And I think they'll kill me, but anyways, I went to a Met game with the Guardian team, and it was a really moving, spectacular experience. Why is that? I met this woman who had just had a double mastectomy from cancer, and she was awarded the Guardian, I'm looking at this title, the Guardian Everyday Champion Award. What is that? That's an award for someone that does things for community. And the woman told me at the time she was recovering, she was up on the screen in Citi Field at a Met game, and she said, my family was there, my friends were there, she had it on her phone. I mean, I think I could even tell you some of the pictures. And she was someone that did a lot for her community. And Andrew and his team has a whole program that recognizes people like that, and they take the time to do it. And, you know, it was so uplifting. And she talked about how this experience was so healing for her and her family. And many of you probably have experienced people at home having cancer, etc. Having those kind of uplifting experience at that point in time in your life, pretty special. Anyways, it's just another example, one that really touched me, of Andrew providing the leadership to really provide well-being to the community. And I'm not just saying, I didn't realize he was on the magazine cover with that. But he does do it, and I asked myself, how many CEOs get up there and say, we are really into well-being, we're into this, we're into that, and you look at their track record and you're like, who is this person? That's not Andrew. He does what he means. The last thing I'll say is, and I mean this as a compliment, if you take a look at the magazine cover, Andrew actually is as handsome as he is in person as he is on the cover. And I hope I don't get in trouble for this with some HR person, but what I'm really trying to say is there's so many people that put their picture on the cover, and I look, I'm like, who the hell is that? It's like, oh, that's not that old, that picture. Well, I think it might be. Anyways, it is what it is. What can I say? Hope you're not offended that I said you were handsome. You really are. Let me leave it on this point. Andrew is someone who does what he says he will do. He has integrity, he's honest, he's smart, and he's successful in all those other things, but he's the full package, he's the full Monty, and that's why I am so proud to introduce him here tonight as tonight's honoree for the Irish American Award. I can't think of anyone who deserves it more. Andrew.
It's about a year ago that Eileen actually came to me and said, hey, would you consider doing this as a keynote speaker here at this event? I was very reluctant for many reasons. So one of the reasons is, which I'll admit right here, like public speaking, particularly about myself, is not something I really relish. So I don't know about any of you, but like getting up here and like, okay, you want me to talk about myself and my family? And I think you would have known that because being Irish also, like that's not something you would, well, there's some Irish people that do that, but you know, this part of it's very personal. The second thing is, well, I'm not that interesting of a person, so like to command a podium, like who really wants to sit here after dinner, after you have a heavy meal and this and that, and listen to me? So now, those of you that know Eileen will know she connects very well with people, so she very quickly realized, oh my goodness, he's hesitating, he's not saying yes immediately. So she continued to roll out like compliments like, oh, you know, you're good looking too. And that doesn't hurt. And I still hesitated. And then she reached out into her pocket and she pulled this out. So those of you who can see, here's Irish American Magazine with George Clooney on the cover. And it says, older, wiser, serious about the issues, and still gorgeous. And she said, this is the type of person that comes and talks at these things. So I think Eileen realized then that actually made me even more hesitant. And is good for those that you know Eileen and how she has garnered great success in her life. She connects very well with people. So as she's staring me right in the eye, I saw her calculating in her head, like, oh, I need to pivot, something that didn't work either. And then she went down the Irish guilt method. So if all of you that know the Irish guilt method, it was basically, listen, Andrew, this is not for you. This is for others. This is for everybody else, not you. Like, just think of somebody that's helped you in your career. Like, this is back for them. And so after a few of those and the guilt that set in very quickly, I decided, okay, Eileen, I'll do it. So here I am tonight. October 9th. I've waited with great anticipation for this day, which I am sure many of you in this room waited for great anticipation too for October 9th. I mean, who does not love Amazon Prime Day, right? It is today, right? Nonetheless, I'm very pleased to be here in the New York Yacht Club. Beautiful, what a beautiful room this is. Very spectacular. I've not been here. And thank you for the great venue and the hospitality. I understand the New York Yacht Club is famous for being one of the only landlocked yacht clubs around here. Is that true? As I pulled up, I'm looking like, wait, I thought this was on the water, but no. Nonetheless, I'm Andrew McMahon. I'll get to the core of this, which I appreciate your comments, Eileen, because some of my comments will be similar to those. I'm Irish Catholic. I'm from Long Island. My parents are from the Bronx. I was raised, they're a blend of actually Irish, German, and Polish. My Irish roots come from Cork, from my father's family. My parents raised me on Long Island in a middle-class family, middle-class neighborhood. Went to Catholic elementary school, St. Patrick's in Smithtown, Long Island. I went to Catholic high school, St. Anthony's in Kings Park originally, and then it moved to Huntington. I graduated Fairfield University, a Catholic Jesuit university, with a computer science degree. So my Jesuit education really reinforced lots of the Jesuit values in me, and to Eileen's point earlier, particularly a value of people for others and us being people for others. And that call to action is really to help the most vulnerable in society and also to pursue justice. And so that has helped shape me as I make business decisions, as I make decisions about my life, and shaped, I think, our family in the way we raised our children as well. So here we are, 35 years later, after college graduation. And I know you're thinking now, hey, wait, how old is he? I don't really look my age, right? How old's George Clooney in that picture, by the way? So 35 years after college, find myself leading a 164-year-old life insurance company, which I know most of you, as you graduated school, probably thought about that same job. If it wasn't that job, I'm sure you thought about working for a life insurance company. So a computer science major as a CEO of a 164-year-old life insurance company. If you're listening to this, that is kind of interesting, I guess, right? That's a little bit different. You wouldn't expect that. Nonetheless, the interesting thing here, and the point I want to make, Guardian was founded in 1860. It was founded right down the block from here, not very far from here. And think about 1860, and Eileen brought up 1860 also. So Abraham Lincoln was just elected president. The Pony Express just began. The New York City population was surging from immigration from lots of countries. New York was just about surpassing 1 million in population, New York City. However, we had states trying to succeed. The country was on the brink of a civil war. Actually, wait, is that 1860 or is that now? Sorry. But serious, despite all that turmoil in the US at that time, Irish, German, Italian immigrants left their countries because of economic hardship, famine, political unrest. Millions of Irish came to New York, and although they were met with signs that said Irish need not apply, they were welcomed into the community and supported by people for others. And maybe not Jesuits, but certainly people who embraced the value of the Jesuits. One of my greatest honors is doing the work we do at Guardian, getting to help people in their time of need and providing them with security in their life. As I mentioned, Guardian founded 164 years ago right here, a time when immigrant families were discriminated against, forced in certain occupations, and highly dependent on a support network around them from others. They were excluded from traditional insurance markets without access to any products to serve their business or help protect their loved ones. The immigrants who founded Guardian believed in something larger than themselves and acted. They joined together, started an insurance company to help immigrant families and businesses protect what is important to them during that turbulent time of 1860. The focus on communities and helping people has been part of our company's DNA from the very beginning, and part of my DNA as well. Tonight should be a reminder how we are all bound together by our ancestry and the imprints it makes upon us. By those that came before us, those who cleared the path and welcomed us into our community, our career, our church, our clubs, our homes. When I think about values that shape me from my family and our roots, it's clear. They're family, faith, education, and hard work. Family and faith are very important to my parents, and now to me and my wife as parents. Education is power, and it should be a lifelong journey. It's a path to building a better future, not just for us, but for the next generation. My education was foundational for me. Most importantly, it led me to Fairfield University, where I met my wife, Jennifer, sitting right here. Which led to my family of Ryan, Alex, and Andrew, sitting right there. And their spouses, Sam's here, and then Katie and Kelsey, who can't be here. And my grandson, Harrison, obviously, who also can't be here as well, because it's past his bedtime, or he's watching the Met game. It's over. Excellent. All right, so with that, so again, in closing, let me just, since the Mets won now, I'm all distracted, but in closing, in honoring these values that I've talked about, we're honoring those that came before us by continuing to be what I like to call people for others, and the Jesuits like to call people for others, just as our Irish ancestors did for many of us, and we are benefits of that. So with that, I don't have a glass, but I would say raise a glass, and may the road rise up to meet you, and may the wind always be at your back. Thank you.